Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Prediction Show, a European special here. We're going to be covering in this episode Tuesday night's Champions League games. If you want to see a video on Wednesday, I'll just get it out there now. 1,000 likes is the target, but for now we are covering the four second leg games in the Champions League. Let's take a look at the fixtures. So here are the fixtures, and we're going to take a look at all of the data and make some predictions for these games, of course. Atleti 3-3 against Club Brugge. That was the first leg, and now they welcome Club Brugge to Spain. Massive game there. Leverkusen 2, Olympiacos 0. You would expect Leverkusen, being the home side in the second leg, to sail through, but Olympiacos have got decent pedigree in Europe in recent years. Inter Milan 3-1 down against Norwegian giants Bodo Glimt. Now, Bodo Glimt love to surprise us, don't they? They just do it every year. Will this one be a step too far away at Inter Milan? Surely Inter Milan will have enough on home soil to get through. A team that is pretty much already through is Newcastle United. 6-1 from the first leg. There could be a bit of value in there if you expect Qarabag to score again as they did in the first leg. Odds were decent for BTTS there. I don't think Newcastle will score 6, and they may potentially rest players or rotate, given that they are basically through. It would be one hell of an upset if Qarabag could even draw. So without further ado, let's check out the first game, Atletico Madrid against Club Brugge. So Atletico Madrid hosting Club Brugge 3-3 from the first leg. Club Brugge improving on their strong performance in the Champions League last season. They're giving a very good account of themselves once more. And Atletico Madrid, there's just a few things that are not very Atletico Madrid. 4.22 goals per game in their Champions League run this season. They've scored 2.22. That's not bad. That's like them. But they've also conceded 2 goals per game, and that also includes a ton of games ending with BTTS, of course, the previous game. But only one game did not, and that was their 4-0 defeat away to Arsenal. There was 4 second half goals in that game, and what's interesting is that if we look at these second half goals recently for Atletico Madrid, there have been 4 second half goals in their last couple of games. Both of these teams do come into this fixture, the return leg, with a victory under their belt, but again, Atletico Madrid, they won, they scored 4, but they conceded 2 goals at home to Espanyol. Club Brugge got a win against 13th placed OH Leuven in the Belgian Pro League. Now, the odds for Atletico Madrid to win are 1.43. That's the highest you'll get with Daffabet. Not worth it for me. If you're thinking about putting on a bet builder, I would leave the full-time results of most of these games because it's a knockout competition. I'm going to check out cards because I think that's where the value is going to be in a game like this, especially with a team like Atletico Madrid. So we'll start with the referee for this one, and it is the one and only Clement Turpin, and we check out his Champions League data for this season. 4.67 cards per game, no red cards yet. Let's see, and a ton of cards in the second half compared to the first half, like most referees, and he has booked both teams in every Champions League game that he has officiated so far this season. That is 6 out of 6. So with all that data, this is what I'm going for. Both teams to get a card, over 1 card for Atletico Madrid, especially if they're trying to see out this game. A second half card for Atletico Madrid, so one of those cards coming in the second half, and then a second half goal as well for Atletico Madrid. As always, get your predictions in the comments. The next game we are going to check out, and if you added a comment, by the way, on the previous video, the winner will be announced on Friday's video. This is a Champions League special, so a little bit of a break from the usual scheduling of the prediction show. So with that said, we are now going to check out Bayer Leverkusen against Olympiacos. So the first thing I notice about this game is, of course, the odds 1.82 for Leverkusen to win after 90 minutes. Now, of course, they could take a draw. a draw sees them through, so I guess that's what the bookmakers are thinking, but I expected the odds to be a lot shorter than that. 1.82 with 1xbet, lows of around 1.71 it looks like, so a pretty good spread there, and we can see their home form at the minute in all competitions. They've scored 7 goals in the last 2 games, both against St. Pauli. They put 3 past Villarreal as well in the final round of the Champions League games, as it were. Just 1 defeat at home since November, so they are a decent home team after sacking Ten Hag at least. They did lose coming into this against Union Berlin. I do wonder how many players were rotated for that one. Now for Olympiacos, their away form is actually better than their home form. A couple of defeats just in the last few weeks at home, and another defeat there you can see in January as we scroll down, but away from home they are unbeaten since October when they lost at Barcelona. No shame there. 3 defeats in October, 2 of them coming in the Champions League, 1 away at Arsenal as well. So they do have a limit. It's just whether you think that limit is Leverkusen, whether Leverkusen are pushing towards the sort of levels of Arsenal and Barcelona. Because 9 times out of 10, when Olympiacos faces one of those higher quality teams, they will lose. And I think this is the end of the road for Olympiacos. Now, I just used OddAlerts AI to see if there was any stats that I missed, and we got some key stats at the bottom here, the bottom of the analysis. Leverkusen have scored in 11 consecutive home games, 4 consecutive clean sheets at home. Olympiacos unbeaten in the last 10 away games. We did notice that one. 6 clean sheets in the last 10 away games. Of course, you've got to weigh up the differences in their respective competitions. Bayer Leverkusen scores first in 75% of home games. That could be an interesting angle because I'm kind of leaning towards the home win, and let's see what we compare with it. So I'm going to go with Olympiacos to win and both teams to have over 2 corners in the game. A bit of an interesting angle, one that I don't usually do, but some markets like that, Bet365, make it a bit laborious for you to go through and select that, whereas both teams to get 2+ cards, they put it right there front and centre. So I think anything that takes a while to do is something they don't really want you to do, if that makes sense. And we can see here the corner count for all of the Champions League games, so 3-3, 4-1, 2-8. I was going to go with Bayer Leverkusen to have the most corners, as they have in all but 3 games, and they do in the majority of their home games recently. But Olympiacos, given that they are chasing the game, didn't want to put either side to have more corners than the other, just because there is a chance Olympiacos could really put Bayer Leverkusen under pressure. Without scoring a goal, they could have a few corners in this game, which is why I've gone with what I've gone with, for them to have over 2 corners. The previous game ended 3-3, by the way, in terms of the corner count. And they actually played each other in the group stage, and there was 2-8 in terms of corners, so 10 corners total. So you could maybe go with the over-under corner angle as well, maybe over 6-7 corners if you're feeling confident about it. I'm just trying to go with different angles here, and again, looking and using the data. But with these kind of games, you've got to think about the situation. You've got to think about the context as well, of the team that is chasing the game and the team that is hosting and trying to protect that lead. So that is my second selection for Bayer Leverkusen against Olympiacos. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to see your predictions for this one. Now let's take a look at Inter Milan against Bodo Glimt. Inter Milan, dearie me, what are you doing? You've lost 4 of the last 5 Champions League games after keeping 3 clean sheets in the first 3. They played Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Arsenal, Dortmund, and now Bodo Glimt as well. Bodo Glimt, absolutely superb to watch. How important is their home pitch for them? We can see here they've played 3 games. This is incredible. They don't play friendlies really. Their season is done and dusted, and they are just training. Maybe they're playing behind closed doors. Friendlies, the record's not available, but the last game they played in Norway in their league was in November, which is absolutely incredible. They've played Dortmund, City, Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan. They've lost none of those games and they have scored against all of those opponents. It is seriously impressive stuff. And I, like you, probably want the fairy tale to continue. And honestly, the last few seasons that I've watched them, they don't really do what they might need to do in this game, which is sit back and try and protect a lead. They are going to try and get another goal in this game. I'm pretty confident about that. And Inter Milan, let's just take a look at their home form. How many goals are they conceding? They've conceded in the last 4 games. They've got 1 clean sheet since early December, 2 clean sheets since November, and a few more clean sheets as we get towards the start of the season. But this is not the Inter Milan of last year. The Inter Milan of last season maybe, or the season before, you would just know that this is a 1-0, 2-0 victory to at least take it to extra time. And this season, we can see here, we're looking at the BTTS drop down. BTTS has landed in the last 4 games and in the majority of the last 10. Will it happen again? Let's have a look at what the bookmakers are thinking for this one. Then we'll take a look at our probability model. So 1.3 is the best you're going to get. So the bookmakers are expecting a dominant win, judging by the price there. BTTS is 1.7 for it to happen again. Over 2.5 goals is 1.33. Jeez, so that is kind of crazy, really, isn't it? I think that's a crazy price, 1.33. That's crazy low. When BTTS is 1.7. So if you're going to have 3 goals in the game, do you think Bodo Glimt are going to lose 3-0? I guess Inter to qualify must also be really, really short odds. We can jump to Bet365 and take a look. So 1.22 with Bet365 for them to win after 90 minutes, 1.8 to qualify. So, I mean, if you fancy them to get that couple of goals back and then win however they need to win, be it extra time or penalties, 1.8 isn't bad. I don't trust them at all. I won't be putting Inter Milan on to win the game or to qualify. I think Bodo Glimt are an amazing team and their story is incredible. Just look at their recent results and the teams that they've beaten. They just seem to keep going and keep improving and keep defying and upsetting the odds. And I think it's potentially a little bit of a trap, especially 1.22 for Inter Milan to win a game of football at home. They are 3-1 down. It's an important game for them, even if they win 2-0. That doesn't mean that they're going to qualify. As always, get your predictions in the comments. I think this is probably the game of the night in terms of what might happen. It is very difficult to call. Now, I'm just checking out the AI Football Predictions page, link in the description. It takes all of our data, puts it together, gives you these very, very nice and easy to digest analysis points. And one of them here is a corners surge when Bodo Glimt are involved. So it says Bodo's games, very corner heavy. Over 9.5 has landed in 8 of their last 10. Our model has over 10 corners at 38.7%. And then it's talking about Inter's shot volume as well. And these types of games, it says it's going to point towards sustained attacking pressure. Now, even more so, given that Inter Milan are down in this game. So I do have a couple of options in my mind. Let me just put them together and then show them to you. So just before I show you, got some card data here. When playing at home, the opponents of Inter Milan have been booked in every game since August of last year. So since the opening day of the season, it looks like, yeah. Torino went there and didn't get booked, but since then, every single team that has gone there has been booked at least once. I think Bodo Glimt protecting this lead will get booked at least twice. I am going with over 1 card for Bodo Glimt, a goal for Bodo Glimt, and over 3 corners in the second half, as Inter Milan will probably continue to chase this game. There's a big chance that this could become a kind of basketball game as well. As I said at the start, I don't think Bodo Glimt are the type of team to just lie down and protect a lead, although that is what they will have to do. I've just not seen it from them much over the past few years. They're a very, very exciting team in Europe, and what a story it would be if they can go to Inter Milan and proceed to the knockout stages of the Champions League. It's going to be a magical night for them, and I may be biased, but I hope they can do it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're looking at that slip as well and saying, well, why have you not put BTTS on? Why have you not gone for the result or Inter to qualify or whatever? Just reducing risk, even marginally. I could have put BTTS on. I could have put over 4 corners, over 8 corners in the game total, but just try and reduce the risk and keep things sensible. And that is it, 2.87. On to the final game. Might struggle to extract value in this one. It is Newcastle against Qarabag. So then the final game, Newcastle, they are 6-1 up. What's going to happen in this game? Get your predictions in the comments. How much are Qarabag going to offer here? Because you could say that, they're going to throw everything at this. They're definitely going to score. But on the other side of the coin, they might turn up thinking it's 6-1. They might be realists. They're going home. They might just come to have a nice day out on the Toon and then play a game of football. They're not going to get through. And the odds absolutely reflect that. 1.14, half-time result 1.44, double chance 1.02 for Newcastle United to win or draw the game. Both teams to score 1.95. If Qarabag can, get something out of this game, just a little bit of pride or something, that's what you're hoping for with BTTS, but it's not a banker or anything like that. The last couple of games, Newcastle have conceded, but Brentford and Aston Villa are much better opposition than Qarabag. That is a fact. And when you see markets like that half-time result, you just think of the recency bias and them being 5-0 up. But how heavily rotated will this Newcastle team be? How much energy will they have from the off? They could very well go out there and score another 3 goals in the first half, but will they? Will they? And will Qarabag want to get pummeled again in the first half? Will lightning strike twice? I'm not so sure. The first half to be a draw, 3.5, looks more appealing to me. That might just be my opinion. BTTS 1.95. Unders is where I would be looking, to be honest. Maybe under 4.5 goals, and then you can combine with some other stuff, maybe some player prop markets. I'm going to put something together here, and then I will walk you through any data that I have used. So for Newcastle hosting Qarabag, this is what I'm going to go for, our final selection of this video. And by the way, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. 1,000 likes is the target. If it gets hit, I will be here on Wednesday for another episode just like this. Now, here is the builder. Most cards, Qarabag, you can see there, and under 4 goals at 3.6. I know many of you will not like the unders play. Qarabag to get the most cards. I think I expect Newcastle to dominate possession in this game and frustrate Qarabag, who are already going to be a little bit riled up after conceding 6 in the first leg. A chance at revenge on the pitch for some of those players here who were humiliated at home last week. So Qarabag to pick up, I think, at least a couple of cards in this game. And the referee may be a little bit lenient as well, given the scoreline in terms of cards. Just keep that in mind. And under 4 goals, so a 2-0 win for the Toon, a 2-1 win for the Toon. The Toon are not going to lose this game. It will be a very, very surprising result. There will be rotation. So again, that for me plays into that kind of slow starting half for Newcastle. And there you have it. That is the video. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments. Can't wait to watch these games and read your predictions. 1,000 likes and I'll be back for the next round of games, which is on Wednesday. See you in the next one.